and welcome to today's Mindset Masterclass. And as you see, I'm out of the office today. I'm actually traveling out of town, out of camp, but I still wanted to bring you guys some great content. As you know, we're getting closer and closer to the season, so it's more and more important that we prepare at the highest levels, that we prepare with a sense of urgency. With that being said, I want you to know that I am preparing a preseason preseason success series for skill work. Okay, so that should be out here in the next week or so. Look for that on our YouTube channel. That's going to be a 45-minute follow along video that you can use to sharpen your skills. The entire set of videos, the entire preseason success series is going to be on our website, but we will drop videos here on YouTube, a couple of those videos here on YouTube that you guys can follow along with. And you can go to the website if you want to purchase the whole package. But the point being, it is time to get your mind right for the season. And you know what I want to do today? What I want to talk about is we talk a lot about goals. We talk a lot about how to set goals, how to prepare ourselves to accomplish our goals. But you know what? I want to go one step further today. I want to give you your goals because I see so many athletes that are struggling to either have goals, to create goals, to keep goals, or to remain accountable with their goals. And it starts with setting a good goal in the first place. And so today, I'm going to walk you through, no matter where you are on the depth chart, what you should be thinking as far as your goals. So, with that being said, let's break down how we talk about goals here. We always set goals. We set three types of goals. We set team goals, which involve where you stand within your team dynamic. We set league goals, which involve where you stand within the outer regions of your, maybe your city or your district or your region, whatever the case may be. It's a bigger look than the team. And then in addition to the team goal, the league goal, we're also going to develop me goals, which is more particular to you and the things that you need to be doing um, within yourself. They're more character based, character driven goals. And with that being said, I'm going to break down what your goals should be like given your spot on the depth chart. Okay. So if you're playing high school basketball right now, you're going to find yourself in one of five different positions. You're either going to be somebody who's off the team, who's trying to get on the team, or you're going to be somebody who's a bench player who's trying to become a role player, or you're going to be somebody who's a role player who's trying to become a starter, or you're going to be somebody who's a starter who's trying to become a star, or you're going to be somebody who's a star who's trying to become a superstar. So I need you to think about where you are on that scale, on that spectrum right now. Okay, are you somebody who's off the team? Are you somebody who's a bench player? Are you somebody who's a role player? Are you somebody who's a starter? Are you somebody who's a star? Or are you somebody who's a superstar? Because we want to set goals to get you to your next level. Now, with that being said, you're going to look to last year. Where were you last year if you were on the same team? So maybe you were trying out for varsity last year and you didn't make it. Maybe you were a bench player on varsity last year and we're wanting to be a role player this year. Whatever the case may be, we're trying to get you to your next level. Okay. Now, if you're somebody who you're playing on a team for a first time and maybe you don't know where you stand, still you've had a lot of preseason work with that team. You probably know where you are on the depth chart, at least close there too. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you specific goals based on where you are. So if you're somebody who is a who is off the team, who's trying to get on the team, okay? This means you tried out for the team, you didn't make it. First and foremost, this tells me that you have a major deficit. You have a major weakness in some area. Because if you're at a regular, normal size school and you have tryouts that have 50 to 60 athletes in them, they're probably looking for 25 to 30 athletes to make freshman, JV, to make up the varsity, all these different teams. So all you're trying to do is be in the top half. If you're not in the top half and you did not make the team, this tells me you need to fix a major weakness. You have something going on that is preventing you from just simply getting on the team. Most likely it's something that you already know about. Maybe it's your strength, maybe it's your conditioning, maybe you lack in your skills in a major way. Maybe you're not a good ball handler, or you're a really bad shooter. Something that just sticks out at a like a sore thumb. I need you to take this weakness and improve on it. I need you to develop a me goal, a team goal, and a league goal that involve improving this one thing, whatever it is, this major deficit, this major weakness that you have. Now, you may say, how do I develop a team goal and a league goal when I'm not on the team? Well, guess what? You have homework. You need to be attending games. You need to be watching the team you're trying to make. You need to be doing due diligence. If you're in the crowd, you don't need to be somebody who's hanging out with the rest of the fans. You need to be up in a corner somewhere studying your competition, which is the other athletes on the team, right? So your goal is going to be based around fixing this major weakness. Let's say you're not in good shape. You're going to pick any type of test that's going to test your conditioning. Maybe it's running a mile, maybe it's running 10 wind sprints, and you're going to improve in that skill by double. Just say I'm going to double it. If you want run a 15-minute mile, say I'm going to get to 7 minutes. And maybe you never get to seven, but maybe you get to nine or 10. Whatever the case may be, you're going to improve that weakness, that deficit. Maybe you're a really bad ball handler and you're going to say, well, I'm going to sit here for a minute and see how many between the leg crosses I can do. And when you do that, you get maybe 10 in a minute. Well, double that. Say in over the next 6 months, I'm going to get to 20 in a minute. Whatever the case may be, you've got to attack that major weakness. Now, let's say you're somebody who's a bench player who's looking to become a role player. Well, if you're a bench player on your varsity team, what that tells me is you're one of many. You're not standing out. You have a similar skill set and maybe size as other people around you. And what you're going to do to separate yourself is develop an intangible, develop a distinct intangible that's going to separate you. So I need you to go into this season really focus on things like your energy level, your ability to communicate, your body language, how hard you practice. These types of things are going to separate you over the course of time and get you off that bench to where you can become a role player. So your team goal, your league goal, your me goal is going to be based around having the most energy than anybody else, or being a better communicator than anybody else, or having the best body language. These types of things can separate you when you're dealing with athletes who have similar skills or size. Okay. So you're going to focus, if you're a bench player trying to become a role player on the team, you're going to focus this next 6 months on your intangibles. Now, let's say you're a role player and you're trying to become a starter. If you're a role player, this tells me you're getting minutes, you've separated yourself from a skill or size perspective, you're doing some good things, but you're trying to take it to this next level. You're basically trying to increase your role. What you need to do to become to what you need to focus on to go from role player to starter is one discernible skill. Take whatever your best skill is right now. Maybe you're a shooter, maybe you're a ball handler, maybe you're a defender, and take it to another level because you've already demonstrated the ability to be good at this particular skill. Now you want to leverage it to the highest levels. So maybe you're a 3 point shooter and you're shooting 35%, making 1.5 threes per game. You want to develop goals centered around making three attempts per game, taking your percentage up to 40%. So you're going to have to get in the gym. You're going to have to do different things to increase that skill. Now, we're not so much focused on intangibles here because obviously, as a role player, you already have some intangibles. You do the dirty work. You probably got good body language and these different things. So for you, it's going to be about getting better at one discernible skill. Now, this doesn't mean we're dropping off the other skills. This just means we're leveraging our best skill and we're going to take it to another level. If it's your best skill, that tells me you already like it. So if you're a great rebounder, that tells me you have a knack for rebounding. You like rebounding. So begin to practice it. Begin to practice on rebounding from different angles. Add rebounding into your shooting drills. Do whatever you add jumping and plyometrics to your practices. Rebound for the people on your team who take the most shots. Rebound for them during practice, and you'll begin to recognize where their misses go. Whatever the case may be, whether you're a rebounder, defender, passer, or shooter, you want to level up in that particular skill to become a starter. So now let's say you're a starter. You've done it. You are one of the first five that are out there, but maybe you're the third or fourth best player on the team. And you want to go from a starter to a star. You want to be somebody who is not only known as being one of the best players on the team, but one of the best players in the league, one of the best players in the entire state, maybe even one of the best players in your region. In order to do that, you're going to need to double your production in one particular area. And what that involves is maybe last year you were a starter and you averaged 10 points a game. Well, now you want to go to 20. Maybe you average 8 points a game. Now you want to think about how you go to 16. Maybe you were a starter and again, this is going to be your most discernible skill, your greatest skill. Maybe you led the team in steals with 1.5. Well, now you want to get to three, okay, or whatever the case may be. If you're a rebounder, you were averaging 5 last year. Now let's get to 10, okay. So these are, and maybe, as I said earlier, maybe you don't get there, but you need to have the mindset as far as I need to double my production. Maybe you averaged 20 last year as a starter or 15. Going to 30 or 40 is unreasonable, but when you get develop the mindset that what would averaging 30 points a game look like for me, it's going to open your mind. So maybe you don't get to 30, but you get to 22, you get to 23, and that's going to take you from just a normal starter, your run of the mill starter, to a superstar. Okay. And recognize that it doesn't have to be about scoring. Maybe you're your team's best defender and you're used to locking up the other team's best scorer and holding him or her to 25% of their average. Well, double that. You want to hold the other team's best player to 50% below their average and things like that. I hope you guys get the mindset because what this is going to do is it's going to get you out of your comfort zone because as a starter you're like, oh, I'm set, I'm on the team. I'm not a bench player, I'm not a role player, I'm a starter, I'm one of the starting five. We're a good team, I'm trusted by my teammates, I've got a discernible role, I've earned this. Well, you're too comfortable, and the biggest enemy to greatness is sometimes being good because good gets you comfortable. And thinking on how you can double your greatest skill, literally 2x your skill, is going to get you thinking out of your comfort zone. Okay, so the last thing we want to talk about is how you go from star to superstar. And this is very hard. So if you're somebody who's already a star, but we're trying to go to a superstar level, what you have to think about is what we basically went through for bench players, role players, and starters. You have to think about developing an additional or doubling down on an intangible. You have to also think about becoming better at a specific skill set. And you also have to think about doubling your production. If you can, and you have to think about doing all three things because If you're a starter, the difference between a star and a superstar is a superstar does it all. They're a leader in their intangibles. They have a discernible skill that we can count on. They are great when it comes to their energy level. They help others get better. All of these things make someone a superstar. Think about the LeBron James of the world, the Giannis Antetokounmpo, however you say it, Greek Freak. All these types of players are guys that are multifaceted. Now, compare them to somebody like, let's say, a Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin had the discernible skills. He had um, the ability to double his production year after year, but he didn't necessarily have the leadership, the intangibles, the body language, the ability to keep his team invested over the course of the season. All these types of things are superstar intangibles. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps you guys prepare for your season. Like I mentioned, preseason success series coming out soon. Thanks for watching. I definitely wanted to get this out, even though I wasn't in studio today. So we appreciate you watching and sharing. And this is week 15. We'll see you guys in week 16, as always. We'll see you later.